Shalom, this is your brother AHBAD from YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI AHBAD, on Profitable Service, St. Petersburg, Florida, GMS Tampa Bay 12. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahawashai, Yahweh, who in the world ignorantly calls God, Yahawashai, who in the world ignorantly calls Jesus. I want to give double honors to my elder apostles at Great Millstone who rule well. Single honors and salutations to all you sincere brothers that's pushing this word in truth, sincerity in the four corners of the earth. And peace and blessings be to the sincere men, women, and children that do consider the 1/3 and also other confusion in the face. Shalom, peace and blessings be unto you all. As you can see by the title of this article I'm reading from Quartz, it was published July 27, 2019. Yes, Earth Overshoot Day is earlier than ever this year, and it underestimates the crisis. I'm going to go into this Earth Overshoot Day because what it does, it basically tells you that the Earth that we're living on is a living organism, and just like how we grow, because you go from a sperm cell, you go into like a fetus. You go into you have the first trimester the woman had, the second trimester, the third trimester, and then she gives birth to an infant child, and you grow and you grow and you grow. Same thing with the earth, with all the natural vitamins and minerals and the elements. It takes time for these things to grow. So if we continue to pull more and more and more product from off the shelves at a store, but they're not making enough of the product for the people to consume, that's what you call high supply and demand. See, Esau can make a TV or they can make a pair of shoes, but when it comes to the earth producing certain metals and producing certain natural resources that we need, mankind is taking much more than the earth is actually providing us with. So now let's go into this article a little bit. It says on Monday, July 29th, we will be 209 days into the calendar year, and we will have used up all the resources the earth could regenerate in 365 days. Let me read that one more time. And we will have used up all the resources the earth could generate in 365 days. They said since Monday, July 29th, today is the 30th, we are 209 days into the calendar year. So we still have will have what? What's that? 139 days left of this calendar year. And what you have to understand is that this is why another reason why the earth is also in the state that it's in, why the earth is also deteriorating at an alarming rate. Now I'm going to continue to read on, and I'm going to bring out a precept. At least that's according to the Global Footprint Network, a group that uses an array of mostly United Nations data to calculate United Nations, that's Esau, Edom, majority of them, to calculate what is called Earth Overshoot Day, the day when humanity overshoots the planet's ability to recover from what resources we consume within each year. Like regrow the trees we cut down, absorb the carbon dioxide we emit, and replenish the seas with the fish we harvest, to name a few. Dang. So this right here just goes to show you that goes back to an imbalance. Now bear with me while I find this precept real quick. Now hearken unto this parable. This is 2 Ezra chapter 5 verse 46. And he said unto me, ask the womb of a woman, and say unto her, if thou bringest forth children, why doest thou it not together, but one after another? Pray her therefore to bring forth 10 children at once. Alright, now women have had twins, quintuplets. I've heard of that before, but listen though to this parable. And I said, she cannot, but must do it by distance of time. In other words, a woman's supposed to give birth to one child. But what happened with Isaac and Rebecca? She was pregnant with twins. 2 nations was in her womb, right? I'm going to keep reading though. Verse 48. Then said he unto me, even so have I given the womb of the earth to those that be sowing in it in their times. Move this real quick. For like as a young child may not bring forth the things that belong to the aged, even so have I disposed the world which I created. And I asked and said, seeing thou hast not given me the way, I will proceed to speak before thee. For our mother, of whom thou hast told me that she is young, draweth now nigh unto age. Because what people like to call the world, the earth, nature, Mother Earth. But really, we know Yahawah created all things through YAHAWASHI. Alright? Verse 51. He answered me and said, ask a woman that beareth children, and she shall tell thee. Say unto her, wherefore are not thy whom thou hast now brought forth like those that were before, but less of stature? You understand that? In other words, in the ancient time, the average man would have probably been what, like 7.5 feet, 8 feet tall? Yeah, the average man would have been at least 7.5, 8 feet tall. Because we was in bigger stature back then, because the earth was in a better state. That's why women have children at a very young age, not at a very old age. And the earth is just like a woman. Okay? Verse 53. And she shall answer thee, they that be born in the strength of youth are of one fashion, and they that are born in the time of age, whom when the womb faileth, are otherwise. That right there is talking about the earth itself, just like the womb of a woman. As the earth gets older and Esau continues to take more and more and more, here it is, this earth overshoot day, because Esau is not even following the law. Now, before I go any further, I want to pull out an example about how things in the ancient time would be much larger than what they appear today. Now, listening to this account, I'm just going to get straight to the point. Numbers 13 and 23. And they came unto the brook of Eshcol, and cut down from thence a branch with one cluster of grapes, and they bare it between two upon a staff, and they brought of the pomegranates and of the figs. Now listen to this. They cut down a cluster of grapes. But why do two men, grown men of great stature back in the ancient times, had to put one cluster of grapes on a stick and they both had to bear it on their shoulders? Why is that? Or I'm sorry, to bear it between them. Because a cluster of grapes today can be handled by a toddler. Hell, an infant child can squeeze and bust a grape. Because the grapes, the fruit, the vegetation, the land, the people were far greater in stature and in strength. As the earth has been weakened, so have we been weakened. Okay? Because even the foods you eat do not give you the full benefits of the vitamins and nutrients that it's supposed to give you. Which is why you have to take supplements. You have to take multivitamins. Every morning, through the spirit, if I'm not fasting, every morning, I always make sure I make me a fruit smoothie. Mixing with strawberries, blackberries, and raspberries. And I have me some vegan protein mix. And I take that every morning because I know I'm not getting the full nutrients I need from everyday life, from everyday food. I make sure I take my chlorophyll and my super green medicines. Because the medicines that we take today, these medicines, man, not medicine, Salaki, the food we eat today is insufficient. Okay? It's insufficient. So how is it that you have two grown men need to put a cluster of grapes between them so they can carry it? Well, that's because the earth during that time was in a far greater what's what I'm looking for? It was stronger. It had more vigor back then. Okay? Let me see. Salaki, I'm looking for a precept real quick right now. Bear with me for a moment. Right here. Isaiah 24 and 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. So in other words, there's a law in the scripture that you're supposed to follow so that the earth will not be in the state that it's in right now. And I'm gonna actually go to that verse to prove that point. All right, bear with me real quick. And this also is gonna show you how the Most High is gonna take the power from Esau and give it to one that's worthy. Because look at the state that the earth is in right now. But this is a part of our law which they did not keep, according to Isaiah the 24th chapter. Leviticus 25:1. And Yahawah spake unto Moses at Mount Sinai, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel. So this is a part of our heritage, all right? And say unto them, When ye come into the land which I give you, then shall the land keep a Sabbath unto Yahawah. Okay? So like Leviticus 25:3. 6 years thou shalt sow the field. Remember it was speaking about that in 2nd Esdras, right? In 6 years thou shalt prune thy vineyard and gather in the fruit thereof. In other words, you're going to take care of your land, your landscape, okay? Your vegetation. But in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath of rest unto the land, a Sabbath for Yahawah. Thou shalt neither sow thy field nor prune thy vineyard. That which groweth of its own accord of thy harvest thou shalt not reap, neither gather the grapes of the vine undressed, for it is a year of rest unto Yahawah. Understand? And the Sabbath of the land shall be meat for you. So the Lord is saying, like, you're not going to go without having to eat, but during that year, you're not supposed to be plowing, sowing, or pruning anything. For thee and for thy servant and for thy maid and for thy hired servant and for thy stranger that sojourneth with thee, they go for everybody, and for thy cattle and for the beasts that are in thy land, shall all the increase thereof be meat. Now listen to this part. And thou shalt number 7 Sabbaths of years unto thee. 7 times 7 years, 49, right? And the space of the 7th Sabbath of years shall be unto thee 49 years. So in other words, the Lord is pretty much saying, 6 years you plow the land, you do whatever you do. All right. 7th year you don't plow the land, you don't prune the land, you don't do anything to the land. Okay. And then after that, Salaki, hold on real quick. Salaki, I'm running out of space, so I'm trying to make sure that I don't get cut off, but I think I got enough space now. I'm going to read it again. Leviticus 25:8. And thou shalt number 7 Sabbaths of years unto thee, 7 times 7 years. In the space, 7 Sabbaths. That's 7 Sabbaths. In the space of the 7 Sabbaths of years shall be unto thee 49 years. So in other words, this is what I perceive, all right? Please correct me if I'm wrong. 6 years you work in your fields. The 7th year you don't do anything. You don't touch that. All right? And then you have to wait. And then it's going to be 6 more years. And then you wait again. Then you wait 6 more years. And then you wait again. You do this 7 times 7 Sabbaths. Okay? So that's what I perceive through the Spirit. And this and we don't have no earth overshoot day, because you allowed the earth to bring back that which we have taken away. Verse 9. Then shalt thou cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month. In the day of atonement shall ye make the trumpet sound throughout all your land. Oh man, this is heavy. This is really going in. Oh man, this is going in. I'm going to just keep reading. And ye shall hallow the 50th year, and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you. Let me go into the word jubilee real quick. Hold on. The word is Yahweh, ram's horn. Okay, so in other words, a trumpet or a blowing of cornets. All right, cornets. It shall be a jubilee unto you, and ye shall return every man unto his possession, and ye shall return every man unto his family. And a jubilee shall that 50th year be unto you. Ye shall not sow, neither reap that which groweth of itself in it, nor gather the grapes in it of thy vine, of thy vine undressed. For it is the jubilee. In other words, it's the Sabbath. It shall be holy unto you. Ye shall eat the increase thereof out of the field. So why do you think Esau had to go over there and plant all those vineyards? I mean, plant those trees over there in the land of Israel. How you gonna be planting trees in the land of milk and honey? How is that? Milk and honey. Where does the milk come from? Well, first and foremost, the cows have to eat the grass, which why they have 4 stomachs to break it down. And guess where the calcium comes from? The calcium is supposed to come from the grass, because the calcium that comes from the grass comes from the actual calcium within the soil. But because Esau takes so much of it, hence, i.e., damn, you really don't have that much calcium in the milk. Now, where does honey come from? Because we're talking the land of milk and honey. Well, first and foremost, you have to have very fertile soil, which is why Israel known as the Fertile Crescent. Okay? How are you planting trees over there? You have to have flowers blooming in order for the bees to extract the nectar so they can pollinate. If bees are not pollinating, nothing's getting planted. Esau, you have destroyed the world. The earth is destroyed by the inhabitants thereof because you transgressed the law. Alright? But nonetheless, though, I'm going to close out with this precept because the earth is defiled because of Esau, Edom. But this is what the elect is looking for through the Spirit and power of YAHAWASHI. This is 2 Peter chapter 3. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Because the Most High gonna have to reset everything, right? But this is the point. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, and the Lord is not a man that he can lie, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness, and where the law shall be kept for all eternity. But I pray you was edified with this video. The water YAHAWASHI shall be keeping the spirit of edification upon me. Like I always say, ask for forgiveness, pray without ceasing. Stay humble, remain diligent. Kwame Asha Allah Muaf Lababal Shalom.